How you doing? I'm Darren with Kickin Barbecue. If this is your first time to the channel, then welcome. If you've been here before, then welcome back. Today we are talking ribs. Now this is a rib recipe I've never done on the channel before. I've wanted to do it for a very long time. I've just been extremely busy this year, and I'm happy to say we are finally doing it. We are doing no wrap ribs with Rodney Scott's Rodney sauce, his Mop Sauce. I've wanted to do this forever. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how long I've wanted to do this. If you don't know who Rodney Scott is, look into him. He's a James Beard award-winning chef, pitmaster. I highly recommend this book. It's not only got some great stories in it, but it also has some fantastic recipes, including the Rodney sauce. Now we are going to be doing it, half of what he suggests in his book, just because we're doing one rack of ribs. We don't need a gallon of it for doing a whole hog, etc. But I cannot recommend this book enough. If you love barbecue as much as I do, definitely go ahead and order it. I'll have a link down below where you can order this book, and of course I'll have the recipe and everything else linked down below for the products that I use. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get the Mop Sauce started because we need to make it and then let it cool down. So we're gonna get that started, and then we're gonna get these seasoned up and get them out on the cooker. So let's go ahead and make our Mop Sauce. All right, so to make our Rodney sauce, I did half of what he suggested in his book. I just half the recipe because I don't need a whole gallon. I'm not doing a whole hog. So this is half a gallon of distilled white vinegar, 1 cup of white sugar, a 1/4 cup of black pepper, about 2.5 tablespoons of cayenne, and about 2 teaspoons of red pepper flakes. And of course, we have our sliced lemons. So it's very simple, very basic sauce, but it's gonna be delicious. I love vinegar sauces. What we're gonna do is we're just heating this up over medium-high heat until it reaches a temperature of 150 degrees. And then we're gonna get our lemon slices in there and continue to cook them until the lemon peels begin to soften and wilt, which is about 10 minutes more according to the cookbook. Again, I highly suggest buying this book. It's fantastic. There's a lot of recipes in there, a lot of good storytelling. So I'm gonna let this get up to 150 degrees and I will bring you back. All right, now you can see we have reached 150 degrees. At this point, we are going to get our lemons in, and that's just gonna look like that. Some nice acidity in there. We're just gonna let these go for about 5 minutes, and then we'll get the rest of our ingredients in, so I'll bring you back in 5 minutes. All right, so you can see our lemons are looking pretty wilted in there. We're gonna have some good acidity in there from them, good flavor. Now we're gonna come in with our other ingredients. 1 cup white sugar, 1/4 cup black pepper, cayenne, and our red pepper flakes. And like I said, I'll have the recipe down below. I halved his, so this is what we're going with here. And we are just going to stir this up until it reaches about 190 degrees. So I'm gonna get this mixed up and I'll bring you back when we are good to go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do a temp check here. And we are sitting at about 190 degrees. Looking absolutely fantastic. All the sugar is dissolved. You'll be able to feel that that's gone. So this sauce is ready to be pulled off the heat. We're gonna let it cool completely before we use it, which is fine because we're gonna get our ribs prepped up and on, and it'll probably be about an hour or two before we're even gonna start mopping them. But once this sauce is cooled, we're gonna remove the lemon, and then we can hold this in the refrigerator. It says for up to 8 weeks, so that's pretty awesome. We can reuse it. But yeah, so I'm gonna get this off, let it cool, and let's get the ribs prepped up. All right, now that we have our Mop Sauce made and it is cooling, we're gonna go ahead and get these ribs ready. Now, this is a beautiful rack of ribs. This is just some commodity ribs I picked up from my local store. I get a lot of people asking me what kind of ribs I use. For competitions, I use Compart Duroc, best pork on the planet. But for filming these videos, I usually try and just get commodity ribs because that's what a lot of you are going to be purchasing, is just stuff you can get at your local store. And I get people that say, well, I can't find ribs that look as good as yours. Well, you need to dig through. You're gonna look silly, you're gonna look goofy digging through the products. But if you wanna find good ribs, you gotta search for them. But this is a nice thick rack of ribs, a lot of marbling in here. We have the rib tips left on here. They're not quite spares, but they were generous and left these on here. I'm not trimming those up. I just wanna rounded up the edges. And then on the back side, I cut the skirt off, and then I just scored the membrane. I'm not even gonna bother removing the membrane on these ribs. So to get these seasoned up, it's gonna be super simple. I'm just coming in with some Tailgater's Barbecue Party Rub, and I still have all my little shakers of this packed away from the American Royal, so you'll have to excuse me. We're just gonna come on with a little bit of Party Rub as our base. And then on the bottom, we're gonna come in with my Honey Chipotle Barbecue, just for a little nice heat and a nice color and a little bit of sweetness. Like I said in prior videos, the heat is nothing to be scared about. It's just a good balanced sweet heat. we're gonna flip it over and repeat the process on the top side. And I always like to do the bottom side first because the top side is obviously your presentation side, so you want everything looking good. Just come in with our party rub. Now we'll come in with my honey chipotle. Like I said, links down below for everything if you're interested in purchasing the book or the rub or any of the utensils that I'm using. I have it all linked down below. The full recipe is linked down below. I get a lot of people asking questions in the comment about the recipe. Everything is in the description. So there we go. Super simple, basic ribs. Just go ahead and get that pressed in. We're gonna let these sweat out for about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, just until the rub's nice and adhered. And then we're gonna get these out onto the cooker. I got the Traeger 885 set up for 250 degrees. We're just gonna let this go for probably about an hour, hour and a half until this rub is set on here. Then we're gonna start the mopping process. Once it's time to get these out on the Traeger, I will meet you outside. All right, you can see we have our ribs on. We got some fantastic color from the honey chipotle. We're gonna have some great flavor from the party rub. So 250 degrees, and we're just gonna let these go for about an hour, and we'll come out and check and see how that rub is set up and see if we can start mopping. So see you guys in 1 hour. All right, we are 1 hour into the cook. You can see we got some nice smoke rolling. Our rub is starting to set up on here. So we are gonna come in with our first mop, and that is going to look like this. We're not gonna hit the ribs because we don't wanna brush the seasoning off. We're just gonna go ahead and mop over the top. And oh, as it hits that heat shield, it just smells so good. Just like that. Keep these ribs nice and moist since we're not gonna be wrapping them. That is looking fantastic. So now at this point, we're gonna let these go, and about every 30 to 40 minutes, I'm gonna come out and just hit them with a little bit more mop. And we're just gonna do that until they're done. So I'm not gonna bring you back every time. I'll bring you back, you know, maybe the last time we'll check for tenderness and I'll show you when these are done, but it's only been 1 hour, so I'm anticipating it taking maybe another 3-4 hours before these are done, but they're looking fantastic. So I'm gonna shut this down, let these go just every 30 to 40 minutes. Once they start drying out again, you're just gonna hit it with a little mop, get some flavor on there. All right guys, so it has been about 4 hours or so. Just been coming out every half hour and just going ahead and moistening up these ribs just to make sure they're getting some good flavor from this mop sauce. You can see now that the rub is a little more set, I'm actually hitting it with the mop itself. And the smell that you get off once that hits the heat deflector is just so wonderful. Now at this point, I'm just gonna come in with a little bit more of the honey chipotle rub and just go ahead and give it a light coat. Make sure we're not missing out on any color. You see we got a little bit of wash out there, but that's okay. These aren't meant to be pretty, they're meant to be delicious. So you can see we have some nice pullback here. We got some really nice color. It's a fantastic looking rack of ribs. I'm just gonna bring you in. You can see everything is looking really, really great. Now I did kick this up to 275 degrees just so we could hurry this along. You know, middle of the rack sitting at about 170 degrees right now, so we still have some time. I just want to get these done before I lose daylight, but you can see, looking fantastic. I'm just gonna keep hitting it with the mop sauce until it's done, and I'll let you know at that time how long it's been. So we'll see you guys when these are done. All right, so it has been a little over 5 hours. You can see our ribs are looking absolutely fantastic. We have nice pullback. We got great color, good bark on there. I know there's gonna be tremendous flavor from this mop sauce. I'm actually just gonna hit this one more time before we bring these inside and let them rest, before we slice into them, do the taste test. And look at these, absolutely fantastic. So I'm gonna get these inside, let them cool off for a little bit, and then we'll jump in and do the taste test. See you then. All right guys, and here it is. Here are our beautiful ribs. We've let them cool down just a little bit. You can see they look fantastic, nice and tender on there. I cannot wait to try these. I've been waiting for them to get done all day long. So I'm gonna bring you in, we're gonna slice into them, and then we're gonna see how we did. So let's check these ribs out. And again, just check them out. Beautiful looking ribs, a lot of nice bark there, nice pullback. You know, they're a little darker than I'm used to, but that's what happens when you don't wrap them. So I'm not worried about that. We're going for flavor here. So, I mean, just look at how tender these things are. You can almost dang near fold them over. So get them flipped over, and I'm just gonna start slicing. All right, we got them all sliced up, but just go ahead and take a look at that. Nice, beautiful, juicy rib. Great color on here. I can't wait to try this. Let's bring you out and let's do the taste test. All right, guys, moment of truth, cheers. I haven't done this before, so we're learning on this together, but I can't wait to try it any longer, so here we go. Wow. These are amazing. I gotta finish this up and then we'll talk about it. You guys, this is one of the few times on the channel where I'm truly at a loss for words. These are some of the best ribs that I've ever had in my entire life. And I'm not even exaggerating in the least. The flavor on these is literally like something I've never had before. You know, I cook a lot of competition ribs. I do a lot of catering ribs, always wrapping. I'm not so fond of the no wrap as I am that mop sauce. What it does to this pork is absolutely amazing. The flavor that is on the bark of this pork is just incredible. I mean, it's so good. You get the savory from the Tailgater's Barbecue Party Rub. You get the sweet heat from my rub, but that mop sauce is just incredible. It's tangy, it's sweet, it's got some heat. That vinegar just comes through really nice on there. It really does. You know, I'm a big fan of vinegar sauces on pork. I think it does something special to pork. And that's why I couldn't wait to try this, because like I said, I love vinegar sauces. But the bark on here is just, for those of you who know me, I'm not a huge rib guy. I don't really like ribs all that much, just because I cook a lot of them. If I am gonna eat ribs, I like salt, pepper, garlic ribs. Super simple, but these are absolutely fantastic. I love them. I don't know what else there is to say about it other than I'm showing you how to make them. You got to make them and try for yourself. You got to try that mop sauce. There's nothing else to say about it. These are fantastic. I'm going to eat some more. The flavor on them is just so good. I mean, they definitely could have gone a little bit longer. They're a little bit tighter than I like, but the flavor is so good that it doesn't really bother me. So obviously, you know, if you're cooking them, cook them to how you like them. You know, I don't like them fall off the bone. I like them to have a little bit of a bite on the bone. It's a little bit under from what I like, but like I said, I'm gonna eat these because they're so delicious. Guys, there's nothing else to say. These are fantastic. You got to make them. Pick yourself up Rodney's cookbook. Check out all the recipes in it. This is just one of many great recipes, but make them. Let me know what you think. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, stay safe, and we will see you next time.